In today's episode of the Fisherman's Handbook, Wade Middleton is sharing the boat with lifelong friend and BASS Elite Series Pro, Jeff Kriet, on Lake LBJ in Central Texas. The two are looking to fight the wind and overcome obstacles to catch a few fish.
We may not catch a bass, but we'll have fun.
We're gonna catch a bass, man. I think I really feel like
I have 3 rods out. You've already got 14 back here.
I feel like I'm taking it to you today, man.
You know, today was one of those rare days, especially this time of the year for us, that we both could find a day in our schedules where we had an opportunity to go fish. You know, he's coming off a tournament over at Ross Barnett. I'm coming off some travels from turkey hunting, and there was a day in our schedule. So we decided to go bass fishing, and just so happened we decided to pick Lake LBJ. And the weather conditions, it didn't matter. We were gonna go fishing no matter what Mother Nature was gonna throw at us.
Neither one of us have a lot of experience here, and you know, there's been some grass in the lake, so we thought, well, we'll get out really early. I drove down last night and got a hotel, and we'll get on the water at daylight, and we'll go out and we'll fish some grass, maybe catch them, you know, like on a big bite cane thumper or a swim bait or something like that. And so I showed up at the boat ramp to meet the guys, and I mean, there's like 4-footers rolling in there. So we'll go find a better ramp to put in. Well, needless to say, this is no lie, no exaggeration. We drove a complete circle around the lake. It almost ended back to where we were gonna put in. So we lost about probably almost 2 hours of fishing time.
It's like babysitting a 2-year-old when he gets out here. We can't get anything done. We've driven around the lake for 2 hours. Shad spawn's over. No life jacket. We don't know where we're going. But I bet we catch a bass. There's some grass, a little bit. It's gonna top out about 5-6 feet. Let's just kind of go down this way here if you're good with it.
It's probably been a couple years since I fished with Wade. I think we filmed a show at the lake we both grew up on, Lake Murray, and had a pretty good day. And I think we may have filmed one at Falcon 2 or 3. We used to try to do a couple shows a year. He's so busy and I'm so busy now that we just don't get a chance.
Fish on.
First one, he came off.
Come on.
That's a good one, wasn't it?
It felt like a pretty good one.
Yeah. I saw that.
I mean, 3 cranks. Whack. You know, the funny thing about it, when we finally got in the water, we ended up going all the way back to the place that I wanted to start anyway, down by the dam. And so we eased in there, and we're throwing some crankbaits around, throwing some jerk baits, throwing some cane thumpers, and you know, I lost a couple, and I'm thinking, God, we just missed the best bite of the day. I mean, the first hour or two, anywhere you're around grass, you're gonna catch some fish.
There's a big one if he didn't come off. Ah, that's a big one.
Team Kriet Middleton 0 for 23. I was kind of a little down, but let me tell you, Jeff, immediately from the moment we put the boat in the water, he wanted to go target boat docks.
I mean, I feel like we're gonna have to catch them on docks just because the you know, the front, and I'm sure they won't be in shade. You know, we just had to call an audible, and you know, I felt like, and I'm sure Wade did too, that the way to catch them today would be to get where you could fish and go fish some docks. You know, and that's what we did. Nice.
I think we're gonna land one finally. I think we're gonna land one.
It's just a good one, dude. Don't lose him.
It's a good one. We're finally due to get one. We're gonna touch one.
Catch him,
We're gonna touch one.
Catch him, buddy.
Oh my gosh.
That's a good fish, man. Nothing wrong with that.
Heck no.
Hey,
give me some. We're 0 for 10. Let's give man a hug. Man a hug. I'm feeling better now.
Dude, here's the deal. These fish all spawn on these docks. You know they do, on the walkways. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yep.
So, they live on these docks year-round. Agreed?
Yep.
You can never go wrong fishing docks.
There's a bass on a dock somewhere all year long.
Yeah, you just have to find which ones are on. Uh-oh, hey!
Fish on. Oh, bass! We captured another one. We got up here where we could fish.
Got you! Got one. Yoo-hoo.
That dog's not impressed.
I am. Dude, that's fun is what that is, man.
When we come back, the search for the right docks continues as Wade and Jeff target more Lake LBJ bass.
It's in our stomping grounds and our playground. It's in our sights and our commitment. It's in him, it was in them, and it will continue with her. It's in my nature. Is it in yours?
Oh, nice shot.
You put the cool in life. We put the cool in coolers. Arctic ice.
Engineered to excel, the Ranger Z500 and Z100 series are built for the ultimate ownership experience. It's a commitment to excellence packed with real-world advantages and exclusive features. Experience the accelerated performance standards of the legendary Ranger Z series. From first light to last cast, they're put together to set you apart. Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here.
At Yamaha, reliability is a family tradition. Meet the next generation. 4 new advanced technology-inspired inline 4-cylinder performers. Bred from the reliability and boater satisfaction that is part of Yamaha's DNA. They prove that when power gets lighter, faster, stronger, and smarter, boating gets even better. And more satisfying for boaters like you.
Let's get down to business. Quiet, you sons of fishes. Now, what?
I'm switching sonar.
Why?
Cause now I can see fish swimming live in front of my boat. I even see fish attack my lure. Y'all sonar's just history. I'm out.
I'm with him.
The Fisherman's Handbook is brought to you in part by Cabela's. It's in your nature. Yamaha Marine. Reliability starts here. Ranger Boats. Still building legends, one at a time.
You know, LBJ was the choice today because it's a great fishery. I get to spend about 2, maybe 3 days a year up here. Jeff's only been here one time, but it's a lake that it really sets up for a fun lake to fish. It's not too big, the wind was gonna blow, we could find some places to get out of it, and I knew we had an opportunity once we got up here to catch some big fish.
Big one, dude.
Big one. Another big one. Look at all the torn up grass from where we were moshing. Dude, I just sit there and held him and he swam out.
It's not going.
Yeah, it is. It took it. All right, we got our selfie. When you start talking about a boat dock lake, a lot of the lakes that make up the Colorado River chain, LBJ, Marble Falls, down through Travis, Lake Austin, you know, there's boat docks everywhere. So it's a target-rich environment. But, you know, fishing boat docks is not something that is just, you go along and you just pitch it out in front of the dock and hope you're gonna get a bite. Yes, you can catch a few fish like that, but the reality is good boat dock fishermen, they know how to dissect the dock, they know the key docks for the time of the year because they do change, and they know how to pick the right bait.
Got him? Got him? Oh, that's a big one, dude. That's a big one, wasn't it?
That was a war. We knew it was gonna happen.
Oh, it's gonna happen a lot.
They don't like brand new painted and stained docks.
Yeah.
That's that
well,
one.
that one, oh, you're right.
See,
you're right.
see, he
you're
had
right.
moved to the old
Yeah,
neighborhood.
Yep.
Yeah. There's something about the stain causing the pH to go down and go
See, that's the
wonkers.
thing about you,
I'm
know?
thinking.
Yeah, you're a thinking guy. The thing here is these docks on LBJ are permanent docks, okay? They're not floating docks. So the biggest key when you fish a lake like this with docks is you have to figure out which docks are on. There are thousands of docks on this lake. It'll usually be a depth thing. It'll be, you know, the angle of the bank. It'll be, are they main lake? Are they halfway back in the creeks? Are they halfway back in the pockets? Where are they, you know? And so we kind of dialed in right then, okay, we need to be about, you know, maybe the first quarter or first half into the creeks, and the docks need to be in about 4.5, 5 foot of water on sand.
Well, I can't tell how big he is. I never did see him. Another keeper.
God, they pull so hard.
Yes, they do.
Dude, why would you take me to this cove earlier?
I'd let you get your mojo on.
Fishing's fun again.
Funny how it works.
Yeah, I love fishing.
You know, the baits we were throwing were big bite in orientation. We're both members of the Big Bite Baits Fishing Lures team, and you know, we were throwing the squirrel tail worm, the coon tail worm, and their finesse worm, and they're all perfect for the types of application that we were using. I was throwing the coon tail on a shaky head a little bit early on, but once it became you know, prevalent, and Jeff dialed this in that it was going to be a wacky worm bite, I mixed it up between the squirrel tail and the finesse worm, rigging it wacky worm with a little weight in there, and you can skip that so far back up underneath the docks in those types of situations, and then it's just a matter of holding on, because you're going to get a lot of bites when it's that right time of the year to throw that presentation.
Got him. He's on the end. It's a good
Pretty
one,
good
dude.
one too.
Nothing wrong with that.
He was out there on the end.
Yeah.
Them fry garters.
Good
I
job.
don't lose my bait. Stay on there.
Yay for Wade. Yay for Wade. Yay, Wade. I love to throw a wacky worm. I love the bite, dude. It's one of my favorite bites.
And after the break, Jeff shows the particular way he's rigging his bait and how it helps him land more bass.
Ingle's got the original high-performance cooler and a whole lot more. Ingle coolers, go with the original.
Hobie's Mirage Drive kayaks set the standard for fun on the water. Whether your passion is fishing, sailing, or recreational adventure, Hobie's got a kayak for you. Hobie's Mirage Drive mimics nature's proven designs for efficient and powerful propulsion and enhances your kayaking experience. Mirage Power, Mirage Performance, Mirage Drive. Hobie, enjoy the ride.
What I love about the Bradley Smoker is that it cooks everything perfectly and it holds all the juices in.
So today we are going to be smoking some barbecue ribs, some venison sausage, and some dove, which is awesome.
You will never grill me doves again. I have to have them in the Bradley Smoker. I would prefer to use the Bradley Smoker every time I cooked. Well, that's really true because I love this thing. No lie. For more recipes, log on to bradleysmoker.com.
The Fisherman's Handbook is brought to you in part by Garmin, the power of simple. Big Bite Baits, designed to bring the big bite to your line. Power Pole Shallow Water Anchors, swift, silent, secure. Spro, Sports Professionals.
You know, fishing with Jeff, who not only is one of my oldest friends alive, he's also a great Bassmaster touring pro. So, you know, not only do I get a chance to go out and fish with somebody that I fished with since I was 10 years old, I get to go out and fish with an Elite Series pro. So those are special times for me when I get a chance to be out on the water because I'm learning. And, you know, he has seen and experienced so many things at the highest level of competition that it is, anytime he starts talking, I'm listening.
This is just a big bite, just a finesse worm, tilapia. And what I do here, okay, I put a nail in the head. You can see the nail right there, okay? I put the nail in the head. Now, what I'm doing, since I'm skipping a lot around these docks, you know, normally you just rig a wacky worm like that, okay? But we're going so far underneath those docks, you'd be hung up every time. So here's what you do, and this is an important deal. Okay, you have the head of the nail in the fat end, okay? I'm gonna come up here, take a bite there, and I'm gonna rig it Texas rig, like that, okay? Now, the reason you always need to have your hook, bend your hook toward the head of to the nail. The reason is, I learned this by trial and error, okay? If you rig it the other way, because, you know, common sense would say go to the fat part in there and you have, but the deal is the fish is 90% of the time going to eat it when it's falling down head first. So if you have your hook flipped around the other way, when you set the hook, you've got to spin that hook in his mouth and you will lose a ton. I would 10-to-1 rather just rig it open hooked, but these fish are so far under this dock, you would stay hung up. You would break off 400, you know, wacky worms in the day. And I'm just using a little 1/0 trocar hook. I mean, that's just a straight shank trocar hook. But rig it like that. Remember, see how the hook is going down like that, and your nail is this way. So rig the hook toward whatever side you've weighted. Makes all the difference in the world.
Get him, get him. God, a good one.
Come on.
Girl,
that's a
big
big one,
one,
dude.
That's a good one.
Got him?
Yeah.
Is that a fish?
Girl,
good one?
Yeah. Took me underneath that. I couldn't do anything with him. He took me under that.
Really hard in that wind.
Yeah, he took me underneath that stairs.
You know, and here's the thing about the way we were fishing today. As far back as those fish were up underneath those docks, I mean, they were way back. I mean, you'd have 8 or 10 poles back with crossbars, and, you know, a lot of the bites would come against the bulkhead or the bank underneath the dock. So, you know, you try to get lined up and you try to fish around the cross members and things like that, but it truthfully is, it's kind of a low percentage deal.
That's a good one. That's a grown one. Oh, son, he's heading to the power pole tomorrow. He's on the other side of the boat. Now he's coming your way. Yeah, that's a big one.
Think we lost him? Ah, that's a freaking 6-pounder, dude.
That's a big one. That was a big one. That was a giant. Losing fish when you're fishing docks, to me, is part of the game. If you're taking a bait and you're skipping it into that type of a jungle, I mean, when you look at a dock on a lake like this, it's a constant level. There can be 30 and 40 poles, there's cross beams, there's, you know, jet skis that are hanging in the water, there's limbs that are up on the shore, there's ropes, there's ladders, there's all kind of obstacles that are under the water. So you're skipping that bait up under there, and that bass takes that bait and you set the hook. He's got a lot of options to wrap himself up. You're gonna lose some. And it just so happens sometimes one guy's gonna get lucky and the bass swims left, and one guy's gonna get unlucky and the bass swims right. And I got a little bit luckier than Jeff did on a few of those big ones today.
Got him.
Oh,
Hang on.
it's
Oh,
a
it's a
good
big
one.
one.
It's a big one.
Oh,
Big
it's a real one.
It's our show fish. There he comes. Come here, baby. Yeah! Dude, he was so shallow. His dorsey should have been like sight fishing a redfish right there.
Hey, look at that, dude. Somebody else already had him hooked.
Had him hooked. Wow.
They lost him.
We'll get us a picture of him.
Coming up, the duo keeps the pressure on as they swing more fish into the boat.
When I talk about Sunline, I think of one word: confidence.
Sunline FX2 is what I use for all of my frogging and flipping.
SX1 braid, which braid plays a big part in fishing line. Shooter, I'm going to use in those close quarter deals like flipping and pitching.
One of my favorite techniques in fishing the tournament trail is to fish offshore ledges.
We have taken the questions out of the equation.
Take my word for it. It works. It works, dude.
Heavy duty, rugged, and designed for the big game hunter and angler. The Food Saver Game Saver Titanium Vacuum Sealer has the power and performance to seal in the freshness of your game and fish for up to 3 years, 5 times longer than standard storage methods. And with its extra wide dual and repetitive sealing capabilities, that's a ton of big game savings. Tough tested and rated 4.8 out of 5 stars by outdoorsmen just like you. The Food Saver Titanium System, it's a true game changer.
There's 2 things between an angler and the fish: the sun and the bugs. Sawyer's line of sunscreens and bug sprays keep you focused on the fish. Sawyer's Stay Put sunscreen formula bonds with your skin for a more comfortable and better level protection. And picaridin insect repellent will only harm the bugs, never your fishing gear. Also, Sawyer permethrin repels and kills on contact over 55 species of insects. You're already outdoors. Sawyer keeps you there.
Hey everyone, GoPro Dean Rojas here, and all of last year I really enjoyed wearing my FG21, which I have on right now. Well, coming up, we have a brand new color. As you can see, we have a new silver color.
I want to tell you about the FG21 jacket. The coolest thing about this jacket is the Vortex hood.
All day long, it does not matter how much it rains, you're going to stay dry and you're going to stay warm, and in turn help you catch more fish.
From the makers of Bubba Blade comes the Bubba Blade Fishing Pliers. No matter where you're headed to fish, this tool will become an integral part of your tackle box for many years to come. They feature our patented no-slip grip handles, just like our Bubba Blade knives, ensuring that this tool will stay firmly anchored in your hand. In addition to the handles, these pliers feature a super tough cobalt cutter and convenient split shot and leader sleeve crimping cutouts. The ultimate in control, strength, and durability. Bubba Blade.
The Fisherman's Handbook is brought to you in part by Sunline America, the strength to guarantee your confidence. Engel Coolers, a legend in reliability. Bubba Blade, the ultimate sportsman's knife and carving machine.
You know, not only am I fishing with a member of the industry, you know, when you look at Jeff and I's ties, we're on Team Cabela's together. We both use Garmin. We both use Big Bite Bait. We're a part of the Yamaha, marine staff. We've got a lot of great professional ties as well as those personal ties. So you can get the opportunity to go out and shoot a show that's educational and beneficial for people, but you also get to go fish with one of your best friends. That's just a big check mark in today's world.
I don't think he's very big, is he?
I think so.
No, he's not.
Is he not? I thought he was better than that. I did. I thought he was a 3 or 4 pounder. Oh, nice pirouette.
So if you catch one that's not big, it's just always important to add a little pizzazz.
Add a little pizzazz.
Just a little bit.
I kind of like fishing with the stars. Is that a dance move that they're going to judge?
I mean, just something. You know what I mean?
I was impressed.
I mean, make it special. You know what I mean?
I was impressed. I don't think I've ever seen that move.
We always talk about our favorite ways to fish. I mean, one of my favorite ways to get a bite, no doubt, is on a wacky worm. There's something about that bite. And a lot of people think, oh, that's sissy and all that. When you skip that thing under and that thing's falling and that line just, toom, and you pick up and he's sliding off, I love that bite. I mean, it's one of my favorites. I mean, I like it almost as I like to punch grass or throw a trap or whatever. It's just to me, it's a great bite, and you get a lot of bites on it. Everybody now wants to just throw they'll throw a wacky rig, but they throw, like a big stick worm. And that's fine. But it's something now that not that many people do. When I first started fishing, man, we always threw a wacky worm just on just a finesse style worm. And it still gets a lot of bites. And it still makes me a lot of money. So if I could, I would fish till dark tonight, and I would do it all over tomorrow. I cannot get enough of skipping that thing under a dock and feeling that line just. I almost threw there, man. I almost threw there.
That was the old line jump hook.
Dude, that sucks.
Fish there.
Because I go, man, do I throw underneath it between that dang jet ski deal, or do I throw in the other? Because like I know there's one there. Bad choice on my part.
He choked it too.
Dang it.
I absolutely love targeting fish in this type of a manner. I mean, I'm a target guy. I like to throw at something, and I mean, there's like 40 billion docks, it seems like, out here, and there's like 30 poles under every dock. So at every angle, at every turn, you've got something to throw at. And you know, we had Logan out here shooting the B-boat stuff. We had the drone flying around. We had Kevin jumping from boat to boat. So we had about the perfect bass fishing day. We caught a ton of fish. We caught some big ones. We caught them in a way we like to fish, and just a great day and a great time on the water.
I fish full time. That's what I do 100% of the time for a living. Fish the Bassmaster Elites and all that stuff. And I had as much fun today as I've had fishing all year for a couple reasons. One, I mean, Wade's been one of my best friends since we've been 8 or 10 years old. We have fished together. We learned how to bass fish together. I mean, that's all we did was fish. So it's always fun to get back in the water with Wade. And the other deal is there was no pressure today. I mean, we just had a good time. We fished a pretty slow pace, pretty easy. I mean, there was times we just kind of idled around to the next pocket and ate some peanuts and drink of water or whatever. And it was a kickback day, you know. Fishing is fun. It really is. You come out like today and just have a great, fun day. A guy needs to do that.
Well, my old buddy Kriet.
That's a good one.
Spinning reels. That's fun.
Yeah, dude.
Doesn't get much better for us, does it? Covering some ground. You're going offshore, then back on the tour.
Yeah.
We got to do this more often.
I'm in. I'm in. I just want one more.
Hello? Hello?
Yes. No fish, just saw one though. Yeah, it's a good one, 4-pounder. Green and yellow, it's a hot color. Bye. Watch it. Serious.
Oh, you got one?
Lost him, dude. Didn't even talk to anybody. That was all made up. That was a recreation. Thanks, Wade.
I got sassed.
Yeah, that was him. That was a showstopper.
I got sassed.